16 cultures around the world where dogs are part of the cuisine. Whether it's religious, cultural, or just a long-standing tradition, foods made with dog meat are still served in many countries worldwide. From soups to just the meat, some cultures that eat dog meat rely on this source of nourishment, just as other cultures lean on beef and pork as a staple of their cuisine. In Western cultures, consuming dog meat is frowned upon. To tell the truth, people who eat dog meat are often shamed or scorned for their dietary choices. Because of this, it might seem horrifying that dog meat dishes are the norm in other countries, but that doesn't change the fact that different cultures have different norms. Raising cattle on grains in factory farms, while common in America, is appalling to many other cultures around the globe. For example, whether you can accept people who eat dogs' meat or not, you have to admit the concept is kind of morosely fascinating. So, let's take a look at different ways that dog meat is eaten around the world. Millions of dogs are eaten every year in Vietnam. Vietnam may be the country that's best known for eating dog meat, and for good reason. Dogs are a common dietary staple there, ranging from roasts to stews, soups, and even simply spiced meat on a stick. Just about every part of the dog is used for food in Vietnam, and there are many slaughterhouses devoted only to dog meat. An estimated 5 million dogs are eaten here each year, more than in any other country, and the meat is in demand, with price tags higher than pork. The meat is considered very healthy for consumption, and some believe it may even have medicinal properties. Unfortunately, there is a long history of slaughter methods being cruel and unsanitary. South Korea keeps a breed of dog as livestock, not as pets. In South Korea, it's not just any dog that's used for meat. While it's true that mastiffs and terriers may sometimes be seen on the menu, the main staple of dog meat cooking is Nreongji. This yellowish breed of dog is raised, like cattle, in mass, for the sole purpose of slaughtering it and cooking it later. The breed is not kept as a pet. What's more is that this is no small industry. Millions of dogs are eaten each year, and the meat is said to be very healthy for those who have recently had a medical procedure. When all is said and done, studies show that 83% of South Koreans have eaten dog meat at some point during their lives. The Swiss have dog jerky. One wouldn't think of dog as a holiday food, but it is considered one in parts of Switzerland. Around 3% of Swiss people eat dog meat, and it is often done when a farmer has too many dogs and needs to get rid of one or two. The meat is salted and dried into a chewy jerky most of the time, though it is also used in traditional sausages. This custom dates back centuries, as does the belief that dog fat can be used as medicine for rheumatism. While some may be opposed to eating dog, it is not illegal in Switzerland and is most commonly done around Christmas time. A small Chinese province holds a festival where dogs are sometimes boiled alive. The Yulin Dog Meat Festival, also called the Lychee and Dog Meat Festival, is known worldwide and, though widely protested as well, draws a massive crowd each year. Oddly enough, the festival is pretty new, only really existing in this form since 2010. The meat is thought to be very healthy, however, the means of preparing it during the festival have been called unhygienic and cruel by opponents. For example, some dogs are boiled alive, so as to enhance the texture and flavor of the meat. Each year, around 10,000 dogs are killed for the festival and served boiled, baked, spiced, preserved, and, of course, in stews and curries. The festival may not be recognized by mainstream, government or society, but it still happens each year, and prices of the meat are going up due to the demand. Dog meat in Burkina Faso is a cultural luxury. Dog meat may sound like something that only the very poor or desperate might eat, but such is not the case in Burkina Faso. This small African country has a long history of eating and preparing dog meat, and much of it centers around family, friendship, and bonding. The meat is seasoned, then boiled in water and eaten by male friends as a sign of kinship. Dog may also be eaten if someone has had a dream of death, as a sacrifice and a way of warding off death. Depending on different family traditions and norms, dog meat is sometimes not consumed at all. However, when it is, it's considered a delicacy that is to be handled and prepared with the utmost care. It may not be openly and widely served in restaurants, but among families, dog still remains a treat worth looking forward to. In Poland, dog lard is considered medicinal. In Poland, rather than focusing on eating the muscle or flesh of the animal, some people use dog fat in order to make lard. It is believed that dog lard has medicinal uses, mostly involving joint pain and body aches. Cat lard is also used in a similar fashion. Nowadays, the practice is mostly frowned upon, and there have been arrests made for cruelty to dogs, involving fattening them up to the point where they cannot stand. Still, the practice of making dog lard still exists in some parts of Poland. In Ghana, dog meat is believed to have spiritual value. Although dog meat has recently become popular in some parts of Ghana, its original consumption was done for socio-political reasons. Dogs are sometimes eaten because it is believed to keep your body safe. The dog protects you faithfully in life, and in death. When eaten, he will guard your flesh as well. The meat is also a delicacy, and can be served in stews or boiled, so the meat is soft and tender. Some cultures believe that a tortured dog tastes better. Even if no other parts of this list turned your stomach, this part might make you feel pretty uneasy, so be warned. In parts of China, Vietnam, and Thailand, dogs are slaughtered regularly for consumption, as they are part of customary diets. Unfortunately, some methods of slaughter in these parts are pretty horrifying. There is a belief in certain circles that adrenaline, particularly the kind from fear, makes the meat taste better and be more tender. In order to get this result, dogs are sometimes tortured before death. They can be beaten to death slowly, boiled alive, or caused severe pain before slaughter, which is supposed to make the meat better, so it can be sold at a higher price. Traditional, customary, religious, or not, many other cultures and groups do not approve of this practice, and many are moving to make it illegal. Dog meat is called the mutton of the earth in China. Also called fragrant meat, dog meat has a long history in China, and is still fairly widely eaten today, in families as well as in restaurants. The meat has supposedly been eaten for over 7,000 years, and while the tradition of eating it is slowly changing, dog meat is still often on the menu and was even seen for sale during the 2008 Beijing Olympics. Upwards of 300,000 dogs are killed for meat each year. The meat is thought to have medicinal properties in many parts of China and is used in spiced meat dishes, stew, or just served boiled and sliced. One unusual recipe, called pressed dog, involves skinning a dog, deboning it, then flattening, spicing, and marinating it, and leaving it out to dry overnight. The result is a flat, circular meat pancake that's well preserved for coming days. No wax is used, though the meat has a waxy appearance, which gives way to it commonly being called waxed meat. In parts of South Korea, dog is a summer treat. Also called gaegoji, dog meat dishes are still quite popular in South Korea. The tradition of eating dog meat dates back to before 100 CE and is often roasted or prepared in soups and stews during the summer months. Part of this stems from the fact that people still believe that dog meat can help you better regulate your body temperature. One particular spicy stew, gaeangguk, is said to ward off heat stroke and hot flashes. Other versions of the soup, using chicken, are available, but the traditional way is to use dog meat. In fact, dog meat is the fourth most popular meat in South Korea, likely due to this traditional dish. In Cameroon, eating dog is a young person's game. Unlike in many other countries, the majority of dog meat eaten in Cameroon is taken from strays. Due to that fact, getting dog meat can require a bit of hunting and skill, and is thus usually done by younger people rather than old. Once caught, dog meat is prepared much like other bush meat, and the process involves drying, smoking, and seasoning. It is served among families and also in restaurants with special attention paid to the neck area, though the trade is rare and gradually becoming taboo. The Vame people of Cameroon also eat dogs for specific cultural rituals, so the practice may continue to exist in certain circles for quite some time. The Kickapoo Native Americans have a recipe for puppy meat. Though it may be surprising to some, dog meat as a cultural tradition still exists in parts of the United States. For example, the Kickapoo Native Americans inhabit modern-day Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Mexico, and have long kept their traditional recipes intact. One such recipe is only served during festivals where the chief deity is worshipped and consists of stew made from puppies. The stew was served hot in bowls to all present and sometimes was eaten very quickly in a competition to see who could finish first. Although this tradition may not be upheld in modern-day festivals, the recipe still survives. Indian tribes still eat traditional dog meat cuisine. In Nagaland, India, dog meat is still a fairly common dish. An estimated 30,000 dogs are eaten each year in this Indian state, and while the trade of dog meat is quickly becoming taboo, there are still those who continue its traditional practice. Dogs are bound in bags up to their neck, muzzled, then killed with a club after being selected, while still alive by a customer. From there, the dogs are seared or boiled to remove fur, and then the meat is sectioned and prepared in a variety of dishes. While dog meat is illegal in most parts of India, Nagaland has such a long-standing cultural tradition of eating dog that it is still permitted there. Rika Rika Wong is a common Indonesian dish. Rika Rika is a dish made with a variety of meats in Indonesia, such as the fowl Rika Rika pictured. However, one common type, Rika Rika Wong, also called rintek, wuuk or gukguk, is still made with dog's meat. The dish is traditionally made with lots of chili, spices, and a thick, rich sauce which permeates and heightens the flavor of the meat itself. The dish is incredibly spicy, and obviously not for the faint of heart. The dogs are slaughtered by individual butchers, rather than being sold en masse, but this dish does show up in restaurants on occasion. The meat is simply thought to be any old protein, such as chicken or pork, and is often used interchangeably. The Malay people brought dog cuisine to the Philippines. Filipinos didn't originally have dogs for pets or for meat. They were introduced by a seafaring people called the Malay, who brought dogs with them as livestock for consumption during their travels. Native Filipinos kept this method of raising and eating dog, and it still exists as a tradition today. In some groups, dogs are slaughtered for religious purposes, then eaten, while in others they are consumed as a normal staple of day-to-day living. The dog is generally cooked or roasted, spiced, put in a sauce, then eaten by everyone in the family, though the practice is not as common today as it may have been centuries ago. The Kingdom of Tonga still keeps dogs for food. Although dog may not be as popular a dish as, say, pork or chicken, the Kingdom of Tonga still holds that it is socially acceptable, and even sometimes popular, to eat dog meat. To locals, dog meat is just that, meat. It is eaten roasted and cooked over a fire, as well as in a variety of other methods, and is eaten by young and old alike. There is some controversy over the fact that dogs are often kept as pets or guards, and that unprotected or unclaimed dogs may be selected and chased to be eaten. That being said, dogs in the region also often roam free, which may be a part of that. In the end, even if you own a dog in Tonga, you may find that, later, the family pet may also be part of your family meal.